What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Kiwan, and I am back with Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 11, Episode 14, Reunion Part 1, Destiny or Divorce. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification. Y'all, I'm one away from 900. So yeah, y'all push me out there. Take me through there. Okay. Y'all, everybody arrives. So everybody arrives except for Martell because his raggedy ass is in the store still trying to find him a suit. It is 30 minutes until the reunion and everybody has to be on stage. Sir, this is ridiculous. Marcus tells Carlos that Martell isn't in his dressing room, that he's at the mall trying to find a suit. I feel like that this is another thing Martell just gets to do, but I guess he's being reprimanded by Carlos. I guess, but with in a like jokingly way. So Carlos was like, "What are you doing? Why aren't you here?" Martell claims that his suit didn't come from Paris in time, and Carlos was like, "Get your ass here now." The fuck? Okay, he didn't say that. So Maurice said to Kimmy in the dressing room, "It's a lot of lies being told." And Kimmy said, "Chris and his license, no ma'am, your husband, that DUI and that raggedy ass story. Okay, this DUI story. That's the lies that's being told." Anyway, Nell said she may have to put foot to ass. Okay. Meanwhile, while everybody is getting ready to hit the stage, Martell's stupid ass is still in the mall looking for a suit. So now that we are here, let's talk about these people's fashions. Okay. Carlos DeAndre Jontavius King looked absolutely delicious. Okay, that's the word. Tisha's dress, the chocolate on her chocolate skin, along with the highlights in her hair and her makeup, was absolutely pretty. I thought her dress, I thought everything was just proportioned the way it was supposed to be. She looked beautiful. Destiny from head to toe, bitch. And that's all. Okay. Fire emojis. Kimmy and her titties were cute. Maurice was regular. Oh, I forgot about Marceau. Marceau was regular. Okay. Him and his brother are always regular. Martell is late, but he finally decided to come in with this basic ass Dillard suit. But you see the Scott's body language as Martell arrived into, to sit on the couch or whatever. Trish and Ken come out, and Trish was cute, except I just didn't like the blonde hair, but Ken's blazer was fire. I actually loved Ken's blazer. Fletch and Nell came out. Fletch always look good. Fletch scary ass always give BDE every rip. Okay. Nell looks really good. Okay. Shout out to the senior citizens of the group, the residential senior citizens of the group. So we get into the first package, which was Kimmy and Maurice. I feel like their segment was very cringy. But whatever. Carlos asked if he worked on not needing sex 5 times a week. Maurice said that they never did the whole 5 times a week thing. Kimmy said on occasions they've had sex at least 5 times a day, but he has to get her aroused because she wants to be able to get off too. And I was like, yuck. So Carlos then talked about how Maurice is the most hated husband on this show and how he has surpassed Martell and Marceau. He goes on to say to Maurice how the fans believe he's an asshole to Kimmy. And he says to Kimmy that the fans think she's in a marriage with this younger man, giving up her coochie so that he won't leave her. Kimmy said that there is no truth to what the fans are saying. And Kimmy said that she enjoyed being alone and that being alone is absolutely okay with her. If she had to do that. So Carlos then asked if cheating was still a deal breaker for her, and she says yes. And I was like, well, Kimmy, on the trip you said that that's no longer a deal breaker, so I'm thoroughly confused, but I guess it is what it is. Carlos asked, would you forgive Maurice if he cheated on her? She said no, because she wouldn't be able to trust him again. Maurice said that they'll be bringing this particular information to their therapy session. Carlos asked, you mean her last statement? He says, yes, because this is new to me. And now his flabbergasted because he knows that Kimmy wouldn't stay with him if he cheated. And this is the mental gymnastics that we talk about. Because the fact that Maurice tried to guilt trip Kimmy on this stage for not wanting to stay with him if he cheated on her, I was just like, wow, throw the whole nigga away, okay? So Kimmy says to Maurice that he is by far the best man I have ever met. And I was like, oh, okay, fine, girl, fine. So Carlos asked Nell, what did she think about the whole thing? And Nell said, you don't know what you're going to do until you get into this situation. So then we get into the Ken and Trisha package. Carlos asks what's going on with their relationship besides the ex. Ken feels like he was Trisha's punching bag and he was taking the brunt of her pain. Ken said that Trish they both didn't separate properly. Well, Ken, my question to you is, how long did it take you to figure that out? Because you sought out this lady after knowing she was married. Like, but whatever, Ken. Ken said he didn't bring another woman. They asked if he had another woman in his apartment, and that if that's why he got another apartment so he can bring other women there. And he hesitated the way production showed it. He hesitated, and Ken said he didn't bring another woman to his apartment. He said he left Trish because they had too much going on in Trish's house that they didn't want to affect the kids. But y'all been affecting the kids. Let's go back to the season where Marquez came on. So then Carlos asked Trish about the whole spin the block situation. He asked what made her spin the block. And she said she haven't. And I'm like, girl, you already admitted to that on camera. Just go ahead and tell these people the truth. Trisha said spin the block to her just meant that she conversated with somebody. I said, Trish, you converse with somebody, but I digress. She said that, she went walking with him. That was their date. That was a cheap date. She didn't send any nudes. She did not kiss him. Ken doesn't believe her. I low-key don't believe Trish. I feel like Trish was looking for some attention. But I don't think I don't know. Trish should be lying. But I want to believe Trish, but she just be lying. But I think she did hang out with some dude because, she's single. Even if she was with Ken, she's still single. Basically, she can do whatever she wants. Ken thinks that Trish did split the block, and he also thinks that more happened. Ken also admitted to sleeping with another woman, which was the nurse lady he had the conversation with Will about, when he told Will that the woman he slept with was more softer. He was comparing that woman to Trish. But and I think this was the time that he told Trish about it, and Trish didn't She didn't get mad. She just was like, okay. And I think he felt the way about it, which I felt like was childish. Anyway, Trisha isn't seeing Dr. Francis anymore, and we already know in real time they both broke up. So we really don't have to explain their package. So then we get down to Tisha and Destiny. I'm gonna tell y'all, after all the back and forth between them, after all the apologizing, and even Destiny asking what more could she have done, we're still trying to figure out, you're saying that she hasn't been there for you, but how? What has she, you're saying what she's not doing, but you're not saying how. Like, how? You talk about and let me say this. To Tisha's point, she talked about the Martell situation. Destiny can't control how Martell is going to react or what Martell is going to say. She felt like she should have had her back between her and Nell. You can't tell somebody whose back that they should have. Like, I just, yeah, no. And I do now I will say this, I understand the whole friendship Tourette's thing. Like, I just don't think it should have been that bad to your feelings was this hurt, like big mad. Like, it's something you can laugh off, but it's not enough for you to be like, I'm gonna put her in a don't trust that hoe box. So again, I say, what did Kimmy say to you? But I bet we won't talk about that. We don't have to disclose that. We don't have to disclose that. Why is Kimmy still on this show? Anyway, Carlos asked Tisha, when did she feel like she couldn't trust Destiny? Tisha said when Martell was saying disrespectful things about her, and she was laughing and giggling and engaging in a conversation. She also wanted Destiny to take up for her with Nell, and she did not. Tisha wants Destiny to be a friend to her the way she's been to Destiny. Destiny feels like this is a bunch of malarkey and BS. Destiny said she had no idea what Martell was going to say, and the point of the questions was for everybody to get some type of resolve, because again, there is always some bullshit going on between all of these people. It's the same thing every season. Anyway, Destiny says she put her physical body in front of Martell because he was hooting and hollering as he always do and moving up on people. And I feel like somebody need to beat the fuck out of Martell because he does this all the time, and he's going to step onto the right person on the right day. Anyway, Destiny goes on to say, while I'm standing in front of Martell, your husband was using you as a human shield. I said, my God, what? So Destiny said how, he did owe her an apology, and she just don't know what more she also could have done in the moment. Destiny said she don't know if there is a real issue, but she remembered Tisha saying to her at the barbecue, at Jalen's barbecue or something like that, that you either fight with Destiny or I'll have to divorce my husband. So she chose me. And I was like, oh girl, something tells me that you kind of said that. And I feel like I feel like you had a few in you. I don't think you said that. I think you said that when you was not sober. And I think you said it in a joking way. I do. I think you said it in a joking way. I think you were just having conversation with Destiny. And I think you said it in a joking way. And I do think Destiny brought this up. That's wrong. But I do believe that you said this. Anyway, Tisha says she just want people to be there for them. She wants people to be there for her how she is there for them. And again, it's the blind loyalty that keeps that's coming up in this. What do you want? What is it exactly that you want? Because that is such. How has Destiny, like, what is it that you want from Destiny? Like, do you want Destiny to fight your battles? Is that how you want her to be there for you? So Destiny did say she kept asking how could she have shown up differently. Destiny did admit Tisha has been there for her, and Tisha has been a good friend. Destiny also says she has held Martell accountable over and over, and we have seen her hold Martell accountable over and over, even when he was with his ex. But don't come in my comments with all this foolishness, y'all. I really don't like to revisit all of that. But Destiny at this point is constantly tired of asking what can she do. And Carlos tells the ladies that Tisha called crying to him asking can Destiny come back on the show. But he tells her that Destiny wasn't fired and it was up to Destiny if she wanted to come back. The door was open for Destiny to come back. And I just don't understand what was that little piece for. But hey, drop it down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought. So Carlos, he tells Tisha, he don't think that Destiny did anything personally that they can't get past. Like, I don't think she did anything that bad personally that y'all just can't get past. I don't know. Tisha said she was right by not trusting that hoe. Okay. I mean, listen. If I'm sorry, I guess all of this is exhausting because I want to say that these ladies really love each other, and I really think they do. Maybe they need a break. Maybe they need a break. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, Carlos asked Kimmy, do she understand how Destiny could be lost? Because he remembers Kimmy saying pretty much saying the same thing, right? Kimmy continues to stand on BS and says that she loves Tisha, which she does. And, she's not going to go against her sister-in-law. She's not. And she never wants to throw a low blow or a dig. And I guess that was towards Destiny. But you can't. I just think they get mad at how Destiny responds. And I'm not mad at how this lady responds to them. Like, I don't know. And then Kimmy was like, she, like, even when Kimmy said, like, I feel like Kimmy knows how Tisha can be. I just don't like how Kimmy you don't have to correct her in front of all of these people, but you can have a conversation with her and be like, yo, listen, T, look, I love you, but you probably shouldn't have never done that. This was one of the times we saw her stand in front of when she was trying to walk up on Destiny at Trisha's event, and Kimmy had to stand in front of Tisha. Like, that was a lot. That was too much. So Kimmy said When Tisha would come at her, she said she would just let her. And Kimmy, everybody isn't you. And when Tisha did come at you and she felt like you wasn't giving her when she felt like you wasn't giving her what she needed, you sat on that reunion stage and you said if she wasn't your sister-in-law, you wouldn't talk to her because you know how your sister-in-law operates and you hurt her feelings. And everybody, all her and her family came for you after that. And then you had to fix it. And so now you let her, if she has something to say, you'll let her go off just so you can avoid all of this. I think that's dumb. I think you're dumb. Anyway, sorry y'all, I don't know what's going on. Kimmy says that Destiny says a lot of shady shit, and Destiny asks, what did she say? You know, baby, what is happening? And so Kimmy tells Destiny it's her tone. And I was like, so it's her tone that's making her shady? Like, I don't understand. Kimmy, you are the messiest person on here. If we gonna keep it a buck. Everything you call yourself trying to repair, it somehow goes out of whack. This is how Tisha and what's her name fell out when they were good. This is how you and Nell fell out because you inserted yourself in the situation between her and Tisha, trying to fix it. And then this is how Martell and your husband had that altercation just at the camping site because you wouldn't keep shut your yap. So yeah, you could go. She tells Destiny to shut her yap. Destiny was like, bitch, I'm not disrespecting you. Do not disrespect me. But she didn't call Kimmy a bitch. I'm just calling Kimmy a bitch because I think Kimmy is an asshole. But I think she's very manipulative. And I think she tries to use that low, squeaky tone to make it seem like she's being nice when sometimes she's being condescending and a dickhead. Anyway, Nell said that, yes, Destiny could say shady shit, but they all do. Nell also said that Destiny tried to fix things because, you know, she's friends with the both of them. But she also inserted herself. And I agree. You was bone Karen. You know, you was being messy. You was being messy. And you tried to make it seem like, you know, you were just being a friend. No, Destiny, I can't give you that, girl. You was being messy. Anyway, Destiny did say how they've already had issues before she came back to the group. And Kimmy and Tisha was like, well, no, we did not. And Nell and Trish said there was an issue. Trish said, yeah, there clearly were issues. And Nell said, yes, we had issues. You know, we already had issues prior. And so Nell said it was an issue and we are always going to clean it up with what you two don't think is an issue. And so Kimmy asked, what was the issue? Say it right here. Nell, so I guess Big Nell decided to enter the chat and she was like, you not my mother. And Kimmy was like, we know that. And Nell said, you're always trying to tell somebody what to say something. You think you can be calm and say it right here. I did that shit with you once and I gave your ass grace once. Kimmy said, you ain't give me shit. Nell said, I gave you grace. Kimmy said, bitch, you ain't got enough grace to give me. Hold up. You just let this lady trigger you. Why'd you call Nell a bitch? You didn't have that. Really, you never liked Nell. And Nell wasn't wrong. Nell wasn't wrong. Nell was not wrong. Because y'all always want to cover everything up and say we're fine. Because you don't want to talk about your stuff. But yet y'all want to shine a light on everybody else's shit. Okay. Anyway, Nell said, bitch. She said, bitch, you had enough grace. She said, so you can pipe it all the way down. Kimmy said, I'm not piping shit. Nell said, well, bitch, I ain't piping shit either. So, yeah, it's clear that these two ladies don't like each other. But I wasn't mad at Nell for clearing that hoe. I was not. I appreciate Nell. Big Nell has entered the chat. I will say this. I don't want to see Tisha and Destiny on bullshit, but I'm sure they'll give us bullshit next season with this fake ass friendship. If you're going to be cordial, just be cordial. And that's it. I just don't need them to be anything else until we can figure out the whys. The what's and the whys. Why are you really mad at Destiny? Because there's always something different. And it's funny how these two ladies seem to always have all of this smoke for everybody else, except for the two niggas they lay next to every night. Anyway, that is all I have. Okay? Feel free to comment down in the section and in this review, depending on who you are and what you got going on. Maybe I'll comment and maybe I'll give you a smile, but damn it, I'm going to comment. So with all of that being said, this is your girl Kiwan reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself, okay? And I will see y'all in the next video.